Hey Techno Studs, in this video we're going to learn about NSlookup and how we can test to make sure that our DNS settings are correct on this machine. So we know that we don't type in IP addresses to get to certain websites. And in fact, that becomes even more critical when we're dealing with IP version 6 addresses because they're so long. So instead what we do is we type in some sort of name using our naming convention that we talked about before. And an example of this that we're going to be using is like www.google.com, where www is the host and google.com is the domain. So what we can use to test out to make sure the domain lookup is working on this machine is we can use NSlookup. So to use NSlookup, all I have to do is type in NSlookup and the domain that I want to access. So I'm going to type in www.google.com, hit enter. It's showing me the server that's using that it's using to look this up, which is 192.168.42.1. That is my home router that it's using. And that home router then is in turn going and looking up other DNS servers and getting the information that I need. And it's coming back with an IP version 6 address, and it's coming back with the IP version 4 address. So we have now successfully figured out what IP addresses are associated with www.google.com. Now, there are some additional features with NSlookup, and to use those additional features, I just type in NSlookup, and that accesses the program, and it opens it up. It's showing me which server that it's using, and all I have to do now is type in www.google.com, and it gives me the same answer here. So now I can see that there's the same answer there. But perhaps I want to change some of the options, like maybe I want to reference a different server. So then I just type in server, and then I type in the server that I want to use. In this case, I'm going to use the 8.8.8.8 server, which is a DNS server that's publicly available out there. So I'll hit enter. Now I'm going to type in www.google.com and see what I come up with. And here we have, it comes up with that same answer once again, but it's from a different server. So there you have it. There's are some ways that you can use NSlookup to test to make sure DNS is working. There is one other tool that I wanted to show you, and that is a tool that I like is MX Toolbox. So I'm going to bring up a browser and type in MX Toolbox, and we're just going to take a look. I'll click on this MX Toolbox. And what I can do is I can do lookups for this. This particular is for MX records. So let's take a look at the MX record for google.com and hit enter. And then it's going to actually show me the mail exchange record for it. But let's say I wanted to, and I forgot an E in there. So there, that looks a little better. So it's showing me some SMTP addresses that it has, showing me some other records that are mail exchange records. So in fact, I can actually look up a lot of different type of records. The records that we were talking about before were just an A record, or I could look up just the AAAA record or the quad A record, which would be for that, it's the IP version 6 address for these domains. So, but you can see that I can look up a lot of different information and also do things like check the domain for blacklists. So there's a lot of cool features with this MX Toolbox. I recommend going and checking it out because it'll give you some aspects to the different records. Another one that I'll use this a lot on is the SPF record. So the SPF record is a text record that tells machines what servers are allowed to send mail on behalf of. So this is one of the records that I'll quite often look up, and then it gives you this information of what servers are allowed to send mail on behalf of it. So anyways, MX Toolbox, it's a great resource, one of those things that you can jump on there and play around with and see how this DNS stuff works. Thanks again for watching my video. If you liked it, could you hit that like button?